What questions you got? I'm a little rusty, so let me see what you got.
No, I got easy stuff. I really just need some scripture guidance, honestly.
Okay.
So that I can, me and my wife having a little meeting tonight.
Right.
So I need some scripture on our history, number one.
Our history?
Yeah, our history.
As a people?
As people.
So you want to know where we came from?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to know, like, when you say our history, you want to know, be more specific. Like, what you mean? Like, who? Like, you talking about being Israelites or as keeping the commandments?
No, the Israelite part. How do we, if I'm just explaining to somebody who's coming out of Christian church who don't know nothing, like how do I explain to them who we are in that Bible?
Okay.
Shalom, everyone. If you like this video, subscribe with us to YouTube. Thank you.
So he gave us commandments. Let's see what some of those commandments are. He said, no gods before him. I mean, nothing comes before God. Have we put anything before God? Let's find out.
Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above.
That's talking about crosses, pictures. God said don't make any images to serve and worship. Go ahead.
Or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
It's going to worship with anything else but God.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy God.
He said, thou shalt not bow thyself down to him, nor serve him. God is our God.
Am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of their fathers upon the children, upon the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
God said he is a jealous God. And he curses generations of his people that hate him, that will not do his will. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandment.
Those that keep God's commandments are blessed. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Should not lie on God. It's a commandment. Go ahead.
For the Lord will not hold him guiltiness that taketh his name in vain.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. That's what we at. So remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Let's see when the Sabbath day is.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
So 6 days shall you labor. You got 6 days throughout the week to do your business. But on the 7th day, which is Saturday, that is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. Go ahead.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
In that day, you don't do any work. Go ahead.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy maidservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Everybody of your household is not to do any work. Go ahead.
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that was in them, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Most High made the 7th day and hallowed it. So what that tells you is, let this sink in. If God, who keeps his commandments, he keeps his own commandments. If God is resting on the 7th day and not doing any work, what does that say for his people who do not abide as he does? Means he's not protecting you. Okay, brother, we know God here is not sinners. You know, that's it, God not. I think, yes. Come here, brother. Brother TJ, how you doing, man? I know you got questions. Just prophesying to the wind right now. What questions you got? I'm a little rusty, so let me see what you got.
No, I got easy stuff. I really just need some scripture guidance, honestly.
Okay.
So that I can, me and my wife having a little meeting tonight.
Right.
So I need some scripture on our history, number one.
Our history?
Yeah, our history.
As a people?
As people.
So you want to know where we came from?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get so you that's a deep one. Let's get we talked about this last night. Let's get I think it's Genesis chapter 20. Let's get that. But we gotta go back to the beginning. Let's get Genesis chapter 20. Let's see where we are with that. So we want to know, like, when you say our history, you want to know, be more specific. Like, what you mean? Like, who? Like, you talking about being Israelites or as keeping the commandments?
No, the Israelite part. How do we? If I'm just explaining to somebody who coming out of Christian church who don't know nothing, how do I explain to them who we are in that Bible?
Okay, let's get that. So first you gotta start with Abraham. Okay, you gotta start with Abraham first. Abraham is the father of many nations, but also understand Abraham is a bloodline. Okay, God gave His blessings to Abraham, but only to a certain of Abraham's children were they given. Who was that? I'm gonna say it. Go ahead and say it. It's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the bloodline. Okay. Always remember that. Let's get that. Let's see.
Book of Genesis, chapter 17 and verse 1. And when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
So Abraham, God revealed Himself to Abraham, said, you got to be perfect. Okay, remember, being perfect is keeping God's commandments. We went over this with you, right? Being perfect is keeping God's commandments. Okay, that's how you perfect. By doing His law, and when you mess up, repent. That's perfection. Okay? So God told Abraham, be perfect. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly.
So God told Abraham, if you do my law, if you keep my commandments, I'm going to make my covenant between me and you. And bless all your seed. Your seed, Abraham said, your seed going to be mighty upon the earth. Okay? A lot of people going to be able to call themselves Abraham's seed. All right, go ahead.
Verse 3. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be the father of many nations. Neither shall thy name and more be called Abraham, but thy name shall be called Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee.
So he said, your name ain't gonna be Abram no more. It's gonna be now Abraham, because that means father of many nations. So Abraham means father of many nations. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make thee nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
So he said, king gonna come from you. Okay, so if y'all know anything, we're gonna keep going.
Verse 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, and generations for everlasting covenant.
So the covenant is the law. Okay? And he said, I'll make my covenant between me and you for generations. So he said, but that covenant I make with you is gonna go on forever. It can never be broken. Okay, you can't break a covenant. It's a contract. You know, contracts got two sides.
To be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. Verse 8. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession.
So that's Israel. God told Abraham, the land of Canaan, who are the Africans, the Hamites, he said, I'm going to give that land to your people. That's that land of Israel, that as is known today, Jerusalem, all that. He said, that's going to be your land forever, your people. So remember, so he's not saying everybody. He said it's a certain people, okay, who that land belongs to.
And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land where thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for the everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations.
So he said, I'm going to be your people. So like that, you know, God has a certain people. He said, but this covenant is for you and that people. Okay, so he's letting Abraham know, hey, he's prophesying to Abraham the future of what's to come. Right?
Verse 10. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you, and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and all ye circumcised the flesh of your foreskin.
18 and 17.
The book of Genesis, chapter 17 and verse 17. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed.
Give verse 16.
Verse 16. And I will bless her and give thee a son.
Give verse 15.
Verse 15. And God said unto Abraham, as for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but shalt call her name B. And I will bless her and give thee a son unto her. Yeah, I will bless her and shall be a mother of nations.
So he said, your wife Sarah, I'm gonna bless her. She's gonna have a child. Remember, Abraham like 90-something years old, and Sarah about that right there with him. They up there in age. So look at what Abraham did when God told him. So, first thing I want you to understand, Abraham. We'll get to that. I don't want to jump. But Abraham actually, he was 90-something years old. God is telling him, you're gonna have a child. Let's see what Abraham say.
Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is hundreds of years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear?
So Abraham laughed and said, man, he's like, I'm 90 years old. I'm gonna have a child. And my wife, how's she gonna bear a child? She's 90 years old. So this is the blessed seed. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And Abraham said unto God, oh, that is Ishmael might live before thee.
So going back, there's Ishmael, okay? Ishmael today is known as the Arabs. Those guys, people, them. Abraham already had a son named Ishmael that he had with his wife's handmaiden, because Sarah was barren. She couldn't have a child. So she gave him her handmaid, and he had a child with her. But that wasn't the seed that God was talking about. That's not the blessed seed. Okay? But this is, we're going to get into who the blessed seed is.
Verse 19. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
So, the covenant has to go through Isaac, and with his seed after him. So it's Abraham, Isaac. Okay? So it's not Ishmael. He ain't a part of that covenant. He's Abraham's son. But let's see what Abraham says. Let's see what God says about Ishmael. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee, behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall be begat, and will I make him a great nation.
So when I told you Ishmael, that's the so-called Arabs. That's their biblical name is Ishmael. Okay? He said for Abraham's sake, because Abraham was worried about Ishmael. He said, I'll make Ishmael a great nation. They're gonna be a powerful nation. So how it goes is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, Abraham is the father. Abraham fathered many nations. Isaac is the father of Jacob. Okay, Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. So, Abraham, after God, that's who his covenant is with. So Jacob had 12 sons, and those 12 are the 12 tribes of Israel. These are the 12 tribes. Okay? There's Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, Zebulun, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Issachar, Naphtali. Okay? Which one are you on that list? Then you got Gad. Gad is the Native Americans. Remember what happened what happened to them? When God said, if you don't keep my commandments, you're going to be cursed, right? What happened to them? Exactly. Remember, they came over. Remember, they thought, when we out there and say our people try to escape God's laws, they try to run from his laws. You can't run from God's laws, okay? You cannot run, because the more you run, the more down you be brought. Look at us as a nation. Everybody always asking, why? Why are we in such a bad predicament? Why can't we get along with each other? Because we've been all this time, we've been trying to run from God. God said, if they should bethink themselves, let's get that. Y'all can see exactly where we falling from. The Most High said, He ain't hearing us right now. Go ahead. The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 6 and verse 37. Yet if they bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captive, and turn in prayer to thee in the land of their captivity, saying, we have sinned, we have done amiss, and we have dealt wickedly. So, let's read it again for both. Let's read it again. 2 Chronicles 6 and 37. The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 6 and verse 37. Yeah, if they bethink themselves in the land which they are carried captive. How do we get over to this land? Let's go. Let's read this real quick, okay? And get Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. How do we get over? So he said, if they should bethink themselves in the land whether they were carried captives. Everybody here know that we did not originate here. We were bought here captive. Let's see. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and get me verse 68. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Hold on. So I'm going to bring you into Egypt, okay? Go to, I'm going to break this down. Go to Exodus 20 and 2. The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Remember, this is the land of Egypt. Egypt means bondage. And also understand, this is God through Moses, giving the understanding to the children of Israel. This after he brought them out of the land of Egypt. So he's telling them, if you don't keep my laws, I'm going to take you into Egypt again. So based off the time, they knew what Egypt was. Egypt to them meant hard bondage. So he's saying y'all going to go back, but he wasn't saying, he only used Egypt because that's what they will understand. So our people, we don't keep God's law. We're going to go into Egypt, which for us means slavery. Hard bondage again. So let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way wherefore I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. He said, I'm going to bring you into Egypt again, but this time on ships. So what other nation? Because there's a whole nation that call themselves the Jewish people. Let's get that. Let's get Revelations 2. I think it's 9. Let's get Revelations 2 and 9. So you can see that God letting you know that those people that's in our letter right now, not the Jews. We're the Jews. The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulations. So God say, I know your works and tribulation. Tribulation means trying times. And you got to ask yourself, who else? Like, our people go through it. He said, I know your works and tribulations. Go ahead. And poverty. Poverty. Who else? Come on, bro. Poverty. He said, I know your poverty. Go ahead. But thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. He said, y'all rich. We're rich because we got the covenant. We God's chosen people. He gave us the laws. He said, and I know the lies of them who say they are Jews, but are not. What? Read it again. Fear none of those. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. He said, I know. He said, they're not Jews. They are not the Jews. The ones that call themselves the Jews are not the Jews. They are the synagogue of Satan. He said they're the synagogue of Satan. And as I said, if they were Jews, do they fit these curses? Go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 68 and read it again. The book of Deuteronomy, God said, my people are in poverty right now this day because we didn't keep God's laws. The Jews, don't they run Disney World? Don't they run the media? The entertainment industry, that's them, man. What kind of poverty is that? I mean, I'm saying they the richest people on the planet. Weinstein and them, I don't know, I'm just naming some names. But that's them. So how are they God's people if they don't fit the curses? Man, scripture's flying now, it's pretty moving. Let's get that again, Deuteronomy 28 and 68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
If you don't keep my laws, because if you read 28, Deuteronomy 28, have you read it yet, brother? You read through, you see them curses. Who else put them curses but our people? He said, I'm going to bring you into Egypt again. You're going back, but this time on ships.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way wherefore I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
He said, just how I'm saying it's going to happen, that's how it's going to happen.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies, for buying men and buying women, and no man shall buy you.
He said, there, you're going to be sold to your enemies. For buying men and buying women, and no man shall buy you. This is the part I want to hit on. When we got off the ships, we were sold, right? By our size, by whatever the slave master wanted out of us, that's how they chose us. They from the oldest to the youngest. Here's the part. Read that last part again, because we don't too often touch on that last part.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy you. Brother, do you know what that means? What do it mean, brother? Exactly. Who have been the saviors of the African American community? Who? You have Martin Luther King. Flop. You have Malcolm X. Both assassinated. You have, who else we have? Somebody name somebody. Rosa Parks. Again, with all the work and effort they put in for their fights, where are we today? And don't tell me we're doing good in the entertainment industry. We look like fools. Our women are becoming more and more naked. They don't care about showing off their bodies anymore. Our brothers do not receive themselves as men. They're carrying purses. What kind of man carry a purse? We become soft. Our women rule over our households. Y'all telling me this is a nation that is saved? No. No. We're worse off than we've ever been. So I ask yourself, what did Martin Luther King? What did Malcolm X? Rosa Parks? What? Everything they did, Harriet Tubman. Besides get some movies out of it, what did they do? Obama. Everybody loved Obama. What has Obama done for the so-called African American community? Man, raise taxes. Approve gay marriages. What did he do? If he really was who we thought he was, why we ain't on top? He was in office for 8 years and nothing changed. Michael Brown got gunned down. If he really was the leader that you thought he was, then how come he couldn't save that? He couldn't change that situation. That officer got off. He rich now. At the time, we had a so-called black president. Why didn't that serve in our favor? Because read it again.
Thou shalt, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the wherefore I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
So you ain't gonna see your land no more again in this time.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies, for buying men and buying women, and no man shall buy you.
He said, God, the reason we ain't been saved, because God made it so. He said, no man is going to save you. We go back to that scripture we have, they should bethink themselves. Remember who was that? The boy got good memory. Let's get that. I think it was 6 and 37. Let's get that. Let's get that first conference. Let's get that first conference again. Allergies acting up. I don't got allergies. Got a cold. Let's get that. Okay, yeah. 2 Chronicles 6 and 37. Read it again.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 6 and verse 37. Yet if they bethink themselves in the land, whither they were carried captive.
Who else that happened to? He said they bethink themselves in the land whether they were carried captives. The African Americans was carried captive here. We was given two names. African American. That's not a real name, that's two nations. All praise to the Most High God. All praises, brother. He said if they bethink themselves, what that mean bethink themselves? Remember, he gave us laws. We his people. We have forgotten who we are. He said they bethink themselves.
Go ahead.
Meaning come back to me. If they remember and come back to me
and turn and pray unto thee in the land of their captivity, saying, we have sinned, we have done amiss, and we have dealt wickedly.
He said if they remember and say, man, we have sinned. We've been in sin this whole time. We've been eating pork. We've been lusting. We've been fornicating. We've been committing adultery. We've been breaking the Sabbath. We ain't been wearing our fringes. He said if they remember this and come back to me.
37 minutes. Yet if they bethink them, if they return to thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their captivity,
If they turn and say, God, we gonna serve you.
whither they have carried them captive, and pray toward their land, which thou gavest unto their father, and toward the city which thou hast chosen, and towards the house which I have built for thy name.
He said if they do these things, go ahead,
Then hear thou from the heavens,
then God gonna hear us.